So welcome back. So we've got Firebase working, and it's kind of working similar to how like a regular web app would work in that, like, if somebody changes something, other people don't know about it unless they kind of like do a manual sync. Now it's not quite like a real web app with other tools. Like with other tools, like when you load the page, it would bring in the initial update, so it'd do like one update right then, and then if I made a change, it would do an update for me right there. But what other web apps don't do, I'll just kind of drop this one over here, is that if somebody makes a change on this one, they would know about it, but nobody else would know about it unless they like manually did some type of update. And that's not how Firebase works. It does a synchronous database, and so we're going to kind of implement that style and approach to what we're doing. I forgot to check in my changes from last time, but I guess I'll just go ahead and do these. So this was a Firebase manual updates. That's kind of what that one was. And now we're going to refactor it a little bit to do automatic updates. Now, in order to do automatic updates, what we want to do is we want to set them up to continuously be listening. Anytime you set up Firebase to continually be listening, you should always have a time where you stop listening. In this app, it's so simple that you don't ever need to stop listening, right? Because you keep listening until the user closes the tab. But I want to show you how to do things right. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect to some Angular Lifecycle hooks. So here's what we're going to say. We're going to say that our class app component, so I'm in app component TS, it implements two protocols. It's going to implement the protocol on init and on destroy. You do have to spell implements correctly, or else it'll be mad at you. Even when you do that, it'll say, hey, on init, I need to import that. So I'm going to use my little auto import light bulb. So it adds the import up there. And then on destroy, I need to add its import as well, and then adds those. Now we've got a different problem. Now the problem is that we claim we implement them, but we don't actually have those methods. So let's go ahead and implement the interface ng on init. Let's go ahead and implement the interface ng on destroy. So it added two methods for me here. It kind of put them in the wrong spot. Little trick you can do, you can highlight things and hold down Option, and then you can just kind of like move them down into appropriate spots. Fun trick, but not really that useful. So we've got on destroy and on init. I guess really I want destroy below on init. And with the stubs, they throw errors, right? It's kind of interesting that the method that the on init protocol needs is the method ng on init. So there's this like little addition of the ng in the method name. It's also interesting that technically you don't have to say this part up here. You would still get the lifecycle methods, but best practice says to say that you implement them. That way it'll help you if you typo in the name, right? So that's the only reason you're declaring those interfaces. So these are lifecycle hooks. So on init is called when the component is initialized, and on destroy is called when the component is destroyed. This component is never destroyed, so this is purely a fictitious example, but it's good for best practice. So here's what we want to do. Instead of having an update color function that calls this thing once, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it into ng on init. Then I'm going to do an auto format, which is Shift Option F. So there it did the auto format for me. And I'm going to change it from once to the word on. And the word on means continuously listen. And then just because my cursor is right here, I'm going to actually grab everything from the word on over. I'm going to paste it down here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say off. So good for best practice, not meaningful here. This says, hey, start listening and keep listening anytime the value of the color changes. And anytime the value of the color changes, set this dot favorite color. And then when the component is destroyed, take this listener off. Easy peasy. So let's go ahead and do some more. Let's go ahead and comment out update color because we don't need it anymore. And you can also comment out the HTML. Oh, by the way, comment out is on my Mac command /. On Windows, it's probably like Control/. But it works in TypeScript. It also works in HTML. HTML uses a different type of commenting out, but you can see it's doing the same thing. So I'm going to save these things, and I'm going to go see how my app is behaving now. So now I'm going to go ahead and bring my app open here, and I'll go ahead and open up another tab of it over here. And you can actually see that it's already working, because the fact that they say green, right? Because they didn't say green before. Only the cloud said green, it didn't know. But you can see that if I change this one to rose red, you can see that they both changed to rose red. Change it to purple, they both go to purple. And you get this cool little Firebase effect. And like, you could be anywhere in the world and be changing this database, because the fact that they're all on the same computer, it's not even really using that. And it might be cheating at some lower level, but it's shooting things up to the cloud and reading them down, and it's doing them all really fast. And I'm still very impressed by it. So that is how Firebase really works. So let's go ahead and check this in. So this is getting rid of the update button, getting rid of the update function, and then instead setting up a listener and taking off the listener. And so this is favorite color done right. Go ahead and commit that, sync it up. And so what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to let you do favorite number all by yourself. Right now, favorite number works, right? So it works, but it works purely locally on each computer, right? So there is no connection between them with the cloud. So what I want you to do is I want you to kind of follow the same pattern that we used before, and see if you can implement favorite number. The one thing I do want you to be careful about is be careful to never have a line like this, where you are using the local information to set this .favorite number. You'll notice that with favorite color, the only time we ever set it was inside the Firebase on listener, right? So that's the only time you ever say like this .favorite number equals. All other times, what you do is you just push that information up to the cloud, and then it's your listener which pulls it down. I think it'll be a fairly easy task for you to implement, but I'm going to have you do it on your own. And so go do that now, and then the next video we'll assume you've got it done, and we'll show you how to deploy it and to submit your link. All right, see you then. Bye.